Hello, YouTube. I will read to you a myth from the Mysteries of Washington State. This myth is the Mad Doctor South Hill Mansion. It starts out by saying, mystery shadow creepy across the walls and strange unexplained noises have been reported by the mansion caretaker's previous owner swear they have seen the apparitions of a woman at the top of the stairway. Neighborhood children dare each other to run up and touch the haunted house. Rumors abound about screaming coming from within its walls. The home's occupants have reported heard either angry voices or sounds of laughter feverishly. Some even speak of blood stains appearing and disappearing on the floor of the old South Hill mansion. The floor of the Spokane most infamous haunted house have indeed been drenched in blood during its history. Shootings, suicides, electric shock treatment, and illegal operations performed by a man Spokane press dubbed the Mad Doctor all occurred inside the walls of the stately old residence. Secret tunnels, buried treasures, death, and mayhem are all part of the mansion's aura. The history of Wilbraham Manor began in September 1916 with the marriage of Sarah Heckler Smith, widow of her heir to the fortune made by Heckler Silver Mine, to Ralston T. Jack Wilburn. Using Sarah's money, Jack hired a notable architect to build an elaborate craftsman-style home for his new bride, who was 16 years his senior. The three-story, 17-room house cost $75,000 to build, and boasted important marble, gold leaf carvings, high beams, and ceiling and panels inlaid with mother of pearl shipping from China. It sat on a nearly 4-acre of land on Spokane's fashionable South Hill. The new Miss Wilbo reportedly was not overly impressed with the new home or its neighborhood, causing a rift in the couple's relationship. They divorced in 1918, and the home was sold to a druggist, William T. Whitlock, in 1924. The most notorious resident, Rodolph A. Hahn, purchased the house. Hahn moved into the residence with his second wife, Sylvia, who was 32 years younger than he was. The couple spent $50,000 on improvements, including a swimming pool and a lush garden. Nice. Decorated with elaborate fountains and ornate statues. Secret wall panels and passageways were built inside the house, perhaps to hide the doctor's illegal activities. Never legitimately licensed as a physician, Hahn was a former barber and important painter who earned his fortune by providing electric shock therapy to cure the illness of his wealthy clients. Electric shock therapy came into fashion in the early 20th century as a quick push-button manner of diagnosing and curing all sorts of diseases, including cancer, from a little as one drop of blood. An they could electrocute would diagnose a problem and then prescribe shock treatment as a cure. These doctors could make $2,000 per week with such treatment. Hidden income came from secret abortions that Hans quickly performed in his basement for upper-class island empire parents. Many people in Spokane believe that Han buried much of his illegal obtained fortune on his property. A legal legend grew about thousands of dollars in gold that had been hidden by Dr. Han. The doctor had a love for expensive fast cars and boasted which he sometimes raised his multiple car garage, usually stored at least two extravagant style automobiles, while these fancy turned to race house. The mansion front lawn served as a pasture where he kept sleek, steady grazing. Han Manor became a famous venue for extravagant parties. Even during Prohibition, events with free-flowing alcohol were the rule. During one of such event, Han drove his car into the swimming pool, and the pool was then filled with dirty dirt and prevent further such episodes. Infamous parties often hosted celebrities of the day, including flying ace Jimmy Doolittle, who became famous during World War II for his Doolittle raiders. Doolittle was known to dive his plane at home during events such as Delight of the Electric Doctor. Always a fan of boisterous entertainment and newest inventions, Han built a radio tower in his yard and installed enormous speakers so that he could listen to his radio from anywhere on his 4-acre ground. So much of the dismay of his neighbors. The broadcast from these loudspeakers could be heard for miles around, so they went to court to obtain an injunction to silence them. Later the same year, in October 1924, Han was again in court, this time charged with performing illegal abortions on a high school girl from Idaho. The allegations included charges that the girl had nearly died as a result of the operation. Han claimed he had seen the girl for stomach pains, only had asked her to return home for a blood test. By his own admission, the doctor had received his medical diploma and license and practiced through a correspondence course. Han admitted he had been a barber who studied X-ray and specialized electrotherapy. Jury acquitted him of the crime, finding insufficient evidence to convict. The energy of the mansion seemed to determine of both the four-time married Sarah Hecla Smith, widow, and for the Hans. The Hans filed for divorce 3 times. On the occasion that Sylvia filed for dissolution in 1932, she claimed her husband was abusing her. At trial, she testified that her spouse had threatened to run her through with a sword and had chased her out the house while brandishing a weapon. By 1933, however, the couple had remarried and started that keeping in touch by telephone was much too expensive. Just 2 months later, in August, Hans appeared in police court with broken ribs. Both husband and wife were charged with drunken and disorderly behavior. Sylvia Hans admitted guilt in causing her husband injury and was given 15 days suspended sentence. The doctor was found not culpable before 1934 was over. Hahn filed for divorce, reconciled with his wife yet again, reconciled. What am I thinking? On May 2nd, 1940, Hahn was arrested for questioning into the death of his young wife, Sylvia. According to Hahn, he had been outside on the porch when he heard a gunshot. Upon rushing into his wife's bedroom, he found Sylvia lying on a bloody, soaking bed with a Luger in her hand and a bullet hole through her right ear. When the police arrived, they found race horses grazing on the front lawn and very drunk Hans on the premises. Sylvia's lifeless body lay in the bedroom that was riddled with bullet holes, and the lock had been shot off the bedroom door due to many prior abuse allegations and the fact that Hans was known to have threatened his wife with guns from his collection and to have taken target practice inside the house. Hans was interrogated. After several days, a coroner jury concluded that Sylvia had died from wounds she herself inflicted, and Hans was released from jail. Only 5 years had passed since his wife's death when Hans was arrested again. This time he was charged with manslaughter and 3 courts of performance illegal abortions in his home. The wife of the wealthy Eastern Washington farmer had died as a result of one of Hans' abortions, and the manslaughter charge was dropped, but a jury found the doctor attorney argued that found the doctor guilty on 2 counts of abortion at trial in June 1945. Defense attorney argued that the prison sentence would ensure certain death for the 80-year-old Hans. The judgment clearly stated his belief that Hans had been operating on a woman within the walls of his home for years, and he saw no reason to clemence. He did agree, however, that the law did not provide the death penalty in such cases, and prison would be a death sentence for the frail old doctor. Hans' sentence was commuted to probation and a $1,000 fine if he promised never to practice medicine again. The good doctor agreed and instructed the prosecutor to demote his donate his operation table, electric shock equipment to surgery instruction to Gonzaga University. That's the scariest part of this story. The same year, saying he could no longer live in his home in Pleasure, Hans sold his South Hill home. Hans was living in downtown Spokane Hotel when his son found him on the floor of his apartment with 2-foot antique French bayonets thrown through his heart. A 3-carat diamond had been pried from the doctor's Typin. His wallet was bare and empty. We're almost done. Seth from the bayonet lay near the body. The blood-spattered room had been torn apart, and it was evident that violent struggle had ensued. Bayonet used to murder Rudolf Hans in August 1946 was from his own collection of antique weapons. A Federal Bureau of Investigation's manhunt for Hans' killer resulted in an arrest of an ex-convict named Derby Frenchy Visger, who admitted to killing the older man during a robbery. The Wilbur Hans mansion was eventually purchased by the Spokane court to be used as a retirement home. After that, it lay abandoned and in disrepair for years before recent bureaus took turns renovating the old home. A lawyer who owned the house throughout the 18s told of being approached by many people who asked permission to search the grounds with metal detectors for treasure. They believe Hans had buried there nothing of ill-gotten fortune was ever found. The house, with its mysterious hidden passages, rumors of buried treasure, and ghostly sightings, is now the Spokane Register of Historical Places. The Hans legacy of excess, with the lavish parties, drunken balls, guns, and swordplay, brutal shock treatment, bloody operations, suicide, and death, must surely have been left a unique, dark aura about the old mansion. In 1991, a group of college students, ghost hunters, stayed overnight in the old mansion and reported hearing all kinds of inexplainable noises and distinct sounds of women crying several times during the night. At one point, witnesses saw a mysterious black form of some strange creature appear in the window. Members of the ghost hunting party described the active presence of spirits in the old mansion, perhaps the energy of a home previously occupied remains with the history of the old mansion. So yeah, that was a selection from Myths and Mysteries. L.E. Braggs is I do not own the rights to this, copyright law, yeah. So, this should go back to whoever produced it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Goodbye.